Oscar Bevis for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on the DAZN. I've got a very happy Gareth Davies with me this morning. How are you, mate?
I'm very good, thank you. I'm very happy because I'm enjoying the weather. Things are going well. It's a really big fight week in terms of Fischer Allen. We're in the middle of the Fischer Allen 2, Allen Fischer 2. I'm going to call it Allen Fischer 2 because Dave Allen won that first fight. He didn't, he certainly won 96-93 on one judge's card, but Johnny won 95-94. I'm very good. Just love the weather at the moment. It just puts a spring in your step.
Yeah, looking out, I'm enjoying looking out the window, which I haven't been able to say for about 6 or 7 months, 8 months even. So
Yeah, exactly.
I'm happy. We will talk about Fischer Allen too, but I want to start with Anto Kakachi. What a performance. He looked massive. He looked strong. He boxed. He looked powerful. That was a brilliant, brilliant performance. He's having the Indian summer of all Indian summers.
Yeah, it's a very resurgent, part of his career at 36 in the last year. 3 brilliant victories now. Joe Cordina, Josh Warrington, and latterly Lee Wood last weekend. It was a very competitive fight, but it was one-sided at the same time, if I can contradict myself almost. I only gave 1 clear round to Lee Wood and maybe 2, but it was a brilliant performance. He got on Lee Wood straight away, knew that there'd be ring rust there and dominated the first 4 rounds, in my view, on the cards. Lee Wood came strong for 2 rounds and then Kakachi took over again. The stoppage was good, a tiny bit late, could have been a little bit earlier. Lee was done. But Kakachi, 36, is getting these good fights, and I think he should just stay in the money fights now, not go for world titles. He's had a world title. Make yourself some money. Have 3 more fights. The one I'm throwing out there is Nick Ball. Fight Nick Ball at Super Feather. Go to Liverpool, fight him there. He's great away from home. Tremendous atmosphere. Nottingham's a fight town, as you know. I remember many great nights there with Carl Froch. Brilliant performance. Because Lee Wood's still dangerous, whatever you say about him. So yeah, onwards and upwards for Anto Kakachi.
Would you think that Lee hangs up the gloves now?
I think I'd like to see him fight someone like a Josh Warrington again. That fight would work. They're both at similar stages in their career. Lee had had a long time out, and he's come up against a guy, like you said, he's in his Indian summer right now. He's up in a very resurgent part of his late career, and he's got that mental confidence where he's got long levers, but he's got those angular levers about him, and he switches, and he's very good on the inside. He's very acutely aware when he fights. Full maturity, and it's come late for him in his career. But I think, Lee came up against a very good fighter there. And look, when you look back at the fight, for me, Kakachi was clearly winning all the way through, but he had the respect for Lee that he's very dangerous with his hands and his assaults. Look what he did to Michael Conlan. Yeah, was down at featherweight, but I think Lee will probably have one more. But last week, hearing Ben Davison speak, I heard him quite philosophical, and that, this is going to be a big effort for Lee, and we're not sure he can do it, but he wants to do it. If he's willing and his body's willing and his mind's willing to do one more, then I think he should. But there were talks about, I'm very close to the end in the build-up to the fight. And when you hear a fighter, it sounds like a cliche, this, Oscar, but when you hear a fighter talking about the end, when he's thinking about it, it means that mentally he's about to move away from fighting, historically speaking.
Yeah. In terms of Anto, I can't believe he's got 8 stoppages on his record, because in the build-up, a lot was made of Lee's power, which we know he has. But Anto said to me, Cole Frampton said to me as well, he said, I promise you, this will be the hardest that Lee has ever been hit. And a couple of times Lee's legs stiffened up. I can't believe he's got only 8 stoppages on his record.
Yeah, because
what we see.
He doesn't. What he does is he chops you down like a tree. He's consistently, whoa, get your Red Bull down. Sorry, I've got to commentate on that. No one say you put your neck so far back you
On the
nearly fell off
hatch.
the pavement. Um, the, that's radio broadcasting for you. People can't see, so they need to hear what's going on in the background. Oh, you're shadow boxing. You're doing Kakache. No, Kakache, he's very consistent with his punch output and his power. Like I did hear those comments from Carl Frampton as well that Kakache hits very, very hard, but he doesn't. He's not got knockout power, but he's got stoppage power. And he breaks you down. And that's what happened in this fight. It was the volume of punches and the accuracy of his work that eventually got to Lee Wood. So, yeah, it is a surprising stat. But look at Bruno Serras knocking out Munguia the other day. I think Bruno Serras has only got like a 25% knockout ratio in his career. 6 out of 23 or something were knockouts. And yet he knocked out Munguia with that short, I think it was a hook. And ended Munguia, who's a very strong fighter at super middle. So you do get that. It's just an anomaly.
Well, whatever he does next, I can't wait to see. And I do think after being on the road for Riyadh, Wembley, Nottingham, it would be nice, especially for him to go back to Belfast.
Well, he could fight Michael Conlan in Belfast, but again, I mean, I am friends and a huge advocate of Michael Conlan. I've always been a very good friend of his, and I love the guy. I just love the guy, and he knows that. But I don't see that as a good outcome for him against the Apache. But that would sell in Belfast and it would make money. But I think, again, I'd see, I could be completely wrong, but I'd see a similar kind of outcome to what happened in Nottingham on Saturday night.
Yeah. Right, Gareth, it's Fischer.
You liked the Nick Ball matchup, though, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I like Nick Ball against anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Ball just is that.
You like 100 Nick Balls against one gorilla? Who wins?
I reckon you only need 25 Nick Balls against one gorilla.
I think people are underrating the gorilla in this conversation a lot. Not to be denigrating Nick Ball, but I think people are underrating.
Do you think there's any selection of, like, just say I put to you, right? You know boxing, you know mixed martial arts, you know your other combat sports. If I
bare knuckle
to you, bare knuckle. If I put to you, list your 100 men, do you think you could put a list together that would beat the gorilla?
No.
Even like
how do 100 men? I just don't think if a gorilla is in full, because a gorilla's going to come in and out and he's going to wipe you out 2 at a time, or 100 men could jump on a gorilla and crush it. Mate, I don't know. It's a very weird thought. Someone needs to AI it.
I don't know who started the 100 men versus gorilla question, but it's done quite well. It's doing the round.
I like Mike Tyson's one best. We'd be biting his ear, we'd be beating him, we'd be come on, man, come on. 100 Mike Tysons in their prime. The trouble is the gorilla is so strong.
And logistically, 100 men to get on top of a gorilla is not...
Yeah, but how do you coordinate 100 men? I don't... Anyway, sorry, we digressed, but it's fascinating. Would you tell me then, who could I find? You say you're thinking, could I put together a list of 100 men that would beat a gorilla?
I'm talking, you've got the obvious, your Francis Ngannou's, your big mixed martial artists, boxers, punchers, your big men, your obvious choices. And then I guess you've got to go tactically, perhaps a couple who are bait. I know Chris Impact Junior said that he would have Senior to kind of throw the gorilla off, like reading a poem with a monocle, just making the gorilla bug out a little bit. You've got
if it's a kill, but it's a kill or be killed, isn't it? So
I think we've got the bottle as well.
Well, that's it. Like you know, like what's that zombie movie where they move like a horde? You're going to have to move like a horde, and sacrifice some at the front, but smother it and pull its arms off and pull its legs off, and you know, I mean, it's horrible. This is a horrible thing to say, but you know, Gorilla's got teeth as well. It's got incredible power. It's going to punch harder than any. Can it punch? Can it punch? When I've watched gorillas fight, they go up at each other like this, with their fangs.
Would a gorilla have a chin as well? Like, say one was landed flush from Wilder, would it?
I don't know.
Should we move on?
Fucking hell, mate.
Let's fucking move on.
Let's fucking move on to Romford.
Right, Fischer Allen 2 fight week. Not that you would have any reason not to be, but you are going to be there. You're going to be in and around fight week.
I'm going Wednesday evening to the press conference. I'll probably be doing the event from the TalkSport studio, not because I have any fear of being boshed by the Bosch army, because I've done nothing wrong other than give my opinion about judging all the way along. And I know you're biased because you're all in on the what is it called? The Blue Lotus?
Oh, the Blue
What's the name? Blue Orchid. God, I've even forgotten the name of the Blue Orchid. You know, listen, the Fishers are great fun. We don't know what level Johnny's going to end up at. You know, he wants to win a British title. He needs to win this fight against Dave Allen. And I applaud him for taking the rematch to prove the wrongs right. Because there's no way one judge scored it 96-93 to Dave Allen in the first fight. I think it was a Polish judge, And then we had two other judges, John Latham and one other guy, I can't remember his name now, both scored it 95-94 to Johnny. I had it a clear round for Dave Allen, and that's all I've said. I thought the judging was awful. I applaud Johnny for staying in the fight. I applaud him for taking the rematch. Yeah, I will be in and around it, but unfortunately, and I'd love to have had the microphone there on the TalkSport broadcast on Saturday night. It may change this week, but we're on, Tuesday morning early. And at the moment, I'm doing the press conference on Wednesday evening in Canary Wharf, and then doing studio on Saturday night, unfortunately, where we'll be across the fight. I wish Johnny well. I think he'll win on points this time, narrowly. He's had his wake-up call. But I think he'll be more cautious in the fight this time. There'll be times when he'll throw his hands, and he's very good at that. But I think he'll be more cautious this time and be more wary of the hooks of Dave Allen and not let Dave settle. And I think he'll win a close points decision. But it wouldn't surprise me if Dave Allen won this time either.
Yeah, you obviously crossed paths at the launch press conference, I'll say about 6 or 7 weeks ago. How is that relationship between you and...
Very cold. Very cold. I did say hello to John's wife. I did try and do some eye contact with them. They're not interested in that. It's a closed shop, and that's fine. But I think I will make this point clearly again. I've said nothing to denigrate this family. I've said nothing bad about anyone in the Fischer family. I just didn't agree with the judging, and that's all it was. And they're trying to change the narrative. I didn't cause the drama around it. I just gave my opinion on the night. You know, most people feel that Johnny lost that fight. It is what it is. And like I said, I applaud the fact he's going to right the wrongs and he wants to make a statement. They're both going to earn well. It's made it a big fight, the controversy. So maybe I've helped the controversy. Maybe I've helped him earn some money in the long term by just giving an opinion. And it is what it is. I'm looking forward to the press conference on Wednesday. I think I liked Johnny's attitude in the build-up this time. I also like Dave Allen's. But I think that, as I say, Johnny Fischer has had his young fighters wake-up call, and we'll see a different fighter on Saturday night. Do you agree or not?
Yeah, I think we'll see a different fighter. I think sometimes, I don't want to compare two fights and two fighters, but just for a scenario that could play out similarly, there is potential that Dave may have had his best night similar to Liam Cameron having his best night.
Yeah.
Things are ran back. You kind of don't get what you want or what you perhaps should have had.
What it can signal, Oscar, is if Johnny can come back from that last fight or move on from that last fight and show that he's really learnt, we start to, and he can beat Dave Allen, veritably beat him, or stop him. We can see that he's actually really progressed in his career, and that we can start to talk about him having fights with David Adeleye, Fraser Clark, Solomon Dedekers, different guys around the industry, Jamie TKV, different guys around the industry that will move him towards a British title fight.
Did you look at Adeleye TKV and think that, or if you look at that fight, do you think that Johnny could now, despite whether you're basing it off the Dave Allen performance or whether you think that wasn't the full Johnny Fischer, I don't know, but did you look at that fight and think, actually, Johnny is ready for British title level? He could have won against either of them.
I think Adeleye is a very big puncher, a very dangerous puncher, and I think I would favour Adeleye in that contest. Jamie TKV and David Adeleye was a very odd fight. I was covering bare knuckle that week in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, BKB Extreme, and it was a very odd fight. And their physical posturing was weird in the fight. They didn't really come together and clinch properly. We know what happened with the hook in the clinch after the referee had called break. Very odd fight. No, but I want to see Johnny in with all these guys. He's going to have to fight these guys if he wants to win a British title. I mean, Jamie TKV and David Adeleye, there's a rematch ordered, isn't there? And that's for the British title, obviously. David holds the British title. I think that's a great fight. That's an O2 arena with 20,000 in my view, because of the resonance of Johnny Fischer. But he's got to make a statement in this contest. Look, they're heavyweights. Dave Allen has spoken a really good game in the build-up. He said he's worked really hard in camp. I hope so. And I'm really looking forward to Saturday night. I'm looking forward to the press conference on Wednesday. I've kind of jokingly said I might even give my own scrum to all the video interviewers. Do you want to join my scrum on Wednesday night at the press conference?
You will be getting a lot of interview requests on Wednesday, Gareth. You know that as well as all of us do.
Yeah. Well, I hope we get to ask some questions at the press conference.
Well, I mean, you don't have to answer this question, but can I ask if Johnny will come on Talk Sport this week?
I think they're going to bring it. It's not. I don't think he's got anything against Talk Sport. I just think they were unhappy with the commentary that Spencer Oliver and I were involved in. He called it diabolical. I called it disgraceful. The judging, not his performance, the judging. And it was a bit of Chinese whispers. I think they took their stance and they won't back down now from it. And it's not just... I won't accept that I've let anyone down. I haven't let them down because I went for Chinese at the house or I've had a close relationship with John. I've got a close relationship with thousands of boxers. And I'm going to stand my ground. I haven't done anything wrong. But I do understand what... I'm a father and a grandfather. I do understand John's emotion for his son and his care for his son. And that, in that respect... I don't have any ill will towards him or any of them, but it's just part of the job. I have to give my scoring on the Live Telegraph blog, on TalkSport while we're doing a live broadcast, sometimes at the same time, and you're putting yourself out there. You're scoring it, and at the time, I just did not have him winning the fight, and it was very clear to me. And I think the passion and intensity with which Spencer and I commentate, which is why we're there, just didn't transfer well to Big John and the family. So it is what it is. It's not life and death, but it makes me fascinated for the rematch, And as I say, it's a bigger fight now. He's earning more money from it. It'll be an amazing atmosphere in there. And I hope TalkSport will decide during the week that we need to be there, because I'd love to be there with a microphone.
Yeah, when you look at the UK schedule, it has actually, and I said this to Johnny yesterday, first one was on the undercard of Usyk Fury, so you're never going to take too much of the limelight. It has morphed it into a big fight.
Well, when I see a promo with Tam, I've forgotten his surname now, Tam from EastEnders, the actor, and Ray Winston and Danny Dyer and all these guys going, "Come on, mate." That's why I was giving it at the beginning to you. Come on, you fucking Essex boy. You're an Essex boy, aren't you? So
I'm a West London boy.
Oh, sorry, you're a Twickenham boy. Oh, sorry, old chap.
Twickenham boy, not quite Heathrow, I'm afraid.
You're an Heathrow guy.
I live in that little place where all the Heathrow workers live.
Right. What, Hounslow?
Well, that's even worse, Gareth. Can we stick with Twickenham? Let's stick in Twickenham.
Where do you live? Where all the
Hillingdon.
Hillingdon. Okay. I thought you were Essex. But anyway, the Essex Massive have turned out for him, haven't they? And look, he's a phenomenon. The dad's a phenomenon. They are it's a really fascinating story and a fascinating family. And I wish them all the best on Saturday night. And I look forward to seeing them tomorrow.
I don't want to brush over this too much, but I will ask one more thing. Do you think there will be any regrets over boxing the small circle? Will there be any regrets over the way this has all been portrayed in, let's just say, 2 or 3 years' time, when Johnny's moved on, when Dave's moved on, when Fischer vs. Allen 2 isn't even really spoken about? Will there be any regrets?
For regrets from who?
From anyone about the way this has been handled, blown up?
Well, no, it is what it is. He lost the first fight, if you look at it, in many people's eyes, and I'm just one of those people. He got a judge's decision, a very close judge's decision, that I just didn't agree with at the time. You can listen. I've written a book, and in the book, The Call of the Warrior, I have written that Saul Canelo Alvarez is in there, as is Gennady Golovkin. There are essays on both of them, and I've recorded deliberately in the book that never let it be forgotten that no question whatsoever, Gennady Golovkin, Triple G, won that first fight against Canelo. And he won it by 7 rounds to 5, or if you want to see it another way, 8 rounds to 4. And, it's up to us to give our opinion. People don't agree with a lot of things that we say. Boxing's a subjective sport of opinions. I might have said this to you before. I had Carlos Adames winning 9 rounds to 3 against Hamza Shiraz. I had to put a microphone under Frank Warren a few minutes later and say, how on earth did he get away with, the gods were smiling on him in a way. Maybe he got home favoritism there as a Riyadh season ambassador. But how on earth Carlos Adames didn't get the W in that fight is beyond me. There's other fights out there that you've just got to stick to your guns on how you see it. If I thought I was terribly wrong, I would admit it. Down the line, I don't think it matters. I think they've taken it too far. I think it's fine to say we don't agree with your decision, or your judging, and that's fine with me. But that's how I see it. But I've had people in the background trying to say, yeah, but do you not think, no, I'm not going to change my narrative. That's how I saw the fight. I've watched it live. I've done this a long time. I'm very focused when I'm watching these events. I do it for a living. My full ADHD kicks in. I'm doing a live blog and scoring. I'm doing a broadcast. I feel very much in my element when I'm doing. I'm in my element when I'm doing it, and that's just how I saw it. It wasn't offensive towards the family. I did nothing offensive, either aggressive or bad-natured towards anyone in their family. Actually, the truth is, if they go back and watch the broadcast, I was very complimentary about Johnny, the fact he stayed in the fight. And that's it. So I've got nothing to. I mean, I blame Kugan Cassius for everything anyway. You can keep that as your headline.
I was going to say,
he ambushed me on IFL TV.
I'll blame Kugan if that's what we're doing.
John was sitting at home. He hadn't had his dinner. He was waiting to have his dinner. and suddenly he's ambushed me on IFL TV, and Johnny's on, Big John's on, you know?
It was a good clip though.
Yeah, it was fine. It was just,
I mean, I put it on the TV and was laying in bed and was in the group chat like, boys, have you seen this guy's play? All fun and games.
it's not fun and games. It's serious. It's about the sport, but there's no malice in it for me. There's no malice. I don't. I obviously I tried to at the press conference. I tried to bridge something, but it's closed. The drawbridge is up. The motor's around it, and that's from their side. Let's see what happens on Saturday night. I mean, I hope that I hope that Dave Allen doesn't get the decision, and I think Johnny's won it. Because what are they going to do then? You know? But as I say, I think Johnny will win this time. I think Johnny will win this time.
I can't wait. It's going to be a great fight. Gareth, appreciate your time. I'll end with this question, right? How many Gareth Davies against one gorilla?
It'd have to be a zombie horde. I mean, do you watch the gorillas? I'd love to go to see the gorillas in Rwanda. I think they're one of the most fascinating animals on earth.
I agree.
How many? No, I'm a
how
lover.
high you can kick.
No, I think it'd be pulling my legs off. I mean, these animals can tear you limb from limb. What you should be asking is, to finish this, how many Gareth A. Davies against Big John Fischer?
Riyadh season put forward money to make that one happen?
Oh no, that will never happen. You couldn't pay me enough money to have a fight with Big John Fischer. I like the guy too much. In spite of everything that's happened, I think he's an absolute treasure.